Welcome back to the Blindside Show. Today we have the first special episode that delves into the world of guide dogs and the incredible work that goes into their training and allocation. I'm thrilled to introduce Marc Lyall from Dogs Queensland, a veteran in the field with an impressive background. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Marc has held several important roles, including Senior Guide Dog Mobility Instructor at the Dogs Queensland Institution. Marc has been instrumental in shaping the training programs for guide dog mobility instructors, not just locally, but also on an international scale. Marc has also worked with the International Guide Dog Federation on developing new online training courses, and has also contributed to guide dog programs in countries such as Brazil. Stay tuned as we explore much of what you have ever wanted to know about guide dogs. After reviewing various inquiries about guide dogs from individuals with visual impairments, including blindness, as well as questions listed on the International Guide Dog Federation website, we're now seeking insights and personal perspectives to further enrich our understanding of these topics. Marc's thoughts and experiences are incredibly valuable to our discussion today. I'm confident that Marc will provide our listeners with comprehensive insights on key topics that are essential for anyone considering a guide dog. Hi Marc, it's great to have you here on Blindside Show. We're all eager to learn from your insights and expertise.
Thanks for having me here today, Dan. I'm excited to discuss this topic with you today.
Great. If it's all right with you, Marc, if we can start with the first question that was introduced to this program from listeners and also published websites. First of all, what's in it for me as a visually impaired blind individual, and how do guide dogs assist people with vision impairments in their daily lives? And I guess this question relates to the value add, Marc.
Definitely, and they're two of the most important questions, I think, for everyone for us to start with. What's in it for me? I think we'd like to know your expectations of what a guide dog can do for you. This provides us with an opportunity to provide you with accurate information that describes what a guide dog can offer you in your lifestyle. This helps you to decide if committing to a guide dog will benefit your lifestyle. Some of the most important things that our clients tell us their guide dog gives them is a greater sense of freedom and independence, more confidence when travelling in public, more social contact, a keen sense of companionship, and often the motivation to try more things in their lives that they've always wanted to do. So the second question, Dan, how do guide dogs assist people with vision impairments in their daily lives? Guide dogs are trained to avoid obstacles, stop at curbs, cross roads from down curb to the up curb, ignore environmental distractions when working, locate destinations on request, and negotiate busy areas like central business districts, as well as open outdoor areas without obvious paths or shorelines safely and successfully. So quite a lot.
What qualities should I look for in a potential guide dog, Marc?
When you're interviewed regarding your application for guide dog mobility, we always seek accurate information from you regarding your lifestyle and your needs for travelling independently. We're seeking to get the best match between the many aspects of you and your needs with the temperament and the individual abilities of the guide dogs which have completed their training. All guide dogs should be clean, quiet, and well behaved in public, and responsive to the handler's commands as they carry out their guiding work safely with the client they've been matched with.
Another question that came to us was how do guide dogs undergo training to become effective partners? And what is the typical age for a guide dog to start training and finish training? Or do they ever finish training?
That's a great question. My simple answer to that question is no, they never finish training. Neither do we.
Tell me about it.
How do guide dogs undergo training to become effective partners? Quite an involved question and complex. I'll try and keep it brief. All guide dogs begin their informal training within weeks of being born. This interests a lot of people. When they begin early puppy socialisation in the nest or the whelping centre, where they're born with their litter mates and their mother and our Guide Dogs Queensland staff. They're then placed with a puppy raiser at the age of 8 to 10 weeks of age for approximately 6 months to learn socialisation to the world they'll encounter in future as a guide dog. During this time, they'll also learn to toilet and leash relieve on command, be groomed, fed and walked short distances on lead. They also learn to respond to simple obedience commands like sit, down, heel and wait. After 6 months of age, they're allocated to a new puppy raiser who works on more advanced puppy socialisation in busier places like the city and public transport. When the dog is a young adult between 12 to 14 months old, they are assessed for their suitability to commence formal guide dog training with professional trainers. This begins with bonding with their trainer, learning to work on lead appropriately, being introduced to walk in their guide dog harness, and then learning to guide their trainer in more complex areas as they progress in training. By the time they're 18 to 22 months old, they've completed their training and ready to be matched with a person who is blind or vision impaired.
You did mention a couple of commands that they are trained in the early stages, but do you have a more comprehensive analysis of what commands are most useful to the handlers when they do get their dog? The most common ones that they use to manage the dog?
Yeah, probably the most common ones are a mixture of directional commands and also sometimes occasionally distractions to cope with distractions by the dogs, the commands to continue working and pay attention to their work. And the other commands are used in a social behaviour context, like when going to a cafe, a restaurant or a shopping centre.
Now, what is the application process for the guide dog? I get asked that a lot.
So the application process, Dan, usually involves taking initial information from an applicant in the form of a referral, then arranging for an interview and assessment with the applicant. The assessment involves discussions and practical activities and follows assessment criteria established by the International Guide Dog Federation to determine if a client's application has been successful. We also offer what we call an extended assessment for 2.5 days for some clients who want to know more about how a guide dog works and what it may mean for their lifestyle if they chose to train with one in future. If an applicant is successful, then they wait for a suitable guide dog to meet their needs from the available guide dogs completing their training program.
What are the assessment criteria for the guide dog application?
As I mentioned in the previous question, the assessment criteria we use to assess an applicant is provided by the International Guide Dog Federation, not Guide Dogs Queensland. Some examples of criteria we use are the applicant for the guide dog has the motivation to train and work with a guide dog on a long-term basis. Usually the working life of a guide dog is approximately 8 years. Has the ability to meet the dog's physical, behavioural and emotional needs, and has the physical ability to manage a guide dog, and functional orientation on the travel routes to the destinations that they will use. Also, other criteria are has sufficient work for the guide dog to maintain safe guiding skills, and also has a level of vision loss that requires the use of a primary mobility aid to ensure safe independent travel. And a safe, supportive home environment is also important too. And there are other criteria too, Dan.
So why is it important for an applicant for a guide dog to have strong independent orientation and mobility skills before completing guide dog assessment?
A lot of people ask this and they wonder about this, but one reason is the ability to meet 3 of the assessment criteria I just mentioned. The main practical reason is it's important that a client is independent even if they have a guide dog, because the dog may be sick and unable to work, or the client may travel to an area unsuitable for a dog but still want their own independence. A new guide dog can still make some mistakes when learning all the client's travel routes. So it's important that if the team becomes temporarily disorientated, the client can use their own skills to reorientate themselves again and relocate their original travel route to support the work of the new guide dog.
Can you explain the matching process between the handler and the guide dog, please?
Yeah, the matching process is very interesting, Dan, and can be complex sometimes. The matching process between the handler and the guide dog is important and can be a complex journey reviewing all the information we have about a handler and their needs and a particular guide dog or dogs which have completed their training program to get the best potential match. An excerpt from the International Guide Dog Federation standards may also assist us to answer this question. One of the standards refers to careful consideration should be given to each applicant or guide dog match, and this involves identifying the following guide dog and client compatibilities, including but not limited to the following elements: orientation and mobility skills, physical compatibility such as size, walking speed and gait, personality and temperament of the dog, and personality of the person, the social and home environments, the workplace and educational environments, travel routes such as the number of different travel routes, their duration and intensity, and the travel environment such as whether it's a rural, urban or CBD environment.
I think that would concern the question. When I say concern, they would want to know about that because there are a lot of things that are going to impact on what they do with their journey. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
How long does the guide dog training usually last, Mark?
A guide dog client training program is individually planned for each different team consisting of the handler and the guide dog. Programs can last from 2 to 4 weeks depending on the client and the guide dog's progress together during the program. Many guide dog client training programs are conducted on a domiciliary basis, that is within and around the client's local and work areas. Some training programs are conducted for the first week or 10 days from our residential training centre at Bald Hills to assist with skills development on travel routes, and some guide dog training client programs are even developmental, that is, they are paced to meet the client's needs and abilities and progress with their guide dog. So, for example, we may work together for several weeks to achieve the successful completion of a client's local area travel route and then return after the new team have consolidated their first travel route together to begin their next travel route. So the client can build their capabilities progressively and successfully with their new guide dog. So there's no one size fits all.
Excellent. So, Mark, that's amazing. That's incredible information. Some things I learnt myself there, having had a guide dog for over 6 years myself. So I would like to invite you to come by next week to give us some more insight into this amazing topic.
Thank you, dear. I'd love to return.